Live from Gahanna, WGLH TV presents Lincoln Live with Jillian Sanders and Dylan Scott.
The varsity football team does something that no Gahanna team has done in 24 years. We have the highlights and the reactions.
The Lions have won 4 fall OCC championships, and now it's time for the postseason tournaments. Which of our teams are still competing? We've got you covered.
I'm Ray Tadako, and there's hidden history at Friendship Park, and it's finally being recognized. We'll tell you all about it.
Lincoln Live starts now.
Good morning, Lincoln. I'm Jillian Sanders.
And I'm Dylan Scott. How are you doing today, Jill?
You know, Dylan, I'm doing absolutely fantastic because the varsity football team is the outright OCC champion. Dylan, I just got to know, how excited were you on Friday?
The team and I were absolutely ecstatic. This is a goal that we've had circled at the top of our list for, the better part of a year now. So it's really nice to see all that hard work that we put in this offseason, really come to pay off, and it feels awesome.
That's awesome. Now let's take a look at the highlights. The Lions dominated Pickerington North from start to finish.
Jor Hubbard got the Lions on the scoreboard with this 10-yard TD run.
Still in the first quarter, Maxwell Cummings goes 63 yards for the touchdown and the 14-0 lead.
Maxwell also hit Hubbard for a 19-yard touchdown as the Lions led 24-2 at the half and outscored the Panthers 18-0 in the second half for the 42-2 win.
The defense was dominant, holding Pick North to just 124 total yards and collected 3 sacks. J.D. Yates had 11 tackles and Kamari Burns had 8.
There was plenty to celebrate after the game as it's Lincoln's first outright OCC title since 1998.
It's been a while, ever since we was kind of in middle school, we've been talking about this moment. And it's been 4 long years of grinding and work, blood, sweat, and tears of my brothers. So, to be able to kind of come out and accomplish one of the steps and the dreams we've been set out for since we was 6th, 7th, 8th grade, it means a lot to do it with these boys, handle business tonight.
This game means a lot, we've been working on it since June. Put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this game, just bonding together all year long. Our work paid off. This is the first step to our journey. We're trying to get a state championship now, but right now we're just going to enjoy the moment and think about that.
Congrats again. The Lions will play Lancaster in the opening round of the playoffs Friday night at Whitehall. The girls' soccer team is still on the road to states. They beat Hilliard-Davidson on Saturday 1-0 in the sectional finals. Scoring for the Lions was Jada Whitaker. And the Lady Lions will play Dublin-Kaufman on Wednesday as they continue their battle through the tournament. We talked with Jada and Julia Sammons after the big win.
It really helps when we're all communicating throughout the back and over communicating. Every single play we're making sure we're pressing and covering, and today we did that really well.
Offensively tonight we did really good. We were pressing them, we were being really aggressive, we were getting a lot of crosses off. Specifically on the goal we did good to press and play it back. It just got a lucky touch, so we were happy that we could get that goal.
The girls' cross-country team is heading to regionals. The Lions took home some hardware as they placed second at the district meet this weekend. Scoring for the Lady Lions were Ruby Lewis, who was 11th, Ava Tomnack, who finished 16th, Addison Galloway, Jaylee Baston, and Eliza Brawford. We talked to some of the runners after the race to hear how they are feeling about qualifying for regionals.
We're advancing to regionals and we're just super excited. We've all put in a lot of work just every week, and I think what's helping us advance is just how much fun each of us are having, and just being together as a team is just super exciting because we're all super close.
It's my first year here from the freshmen, but I've heard a lot of the races from the seniors I run with in varsity, and they talk a lot about their past meets at regionals and all the other meets they love.
Congrats, ladies, and best of luck this weekend. Our boys cross-country team will also be competing at regionals this weekend. The boys placed 3rd in the district meet to secure themselves a spot. Scoring for the Lions were Charlie Slates in 4th, Aubie Sleshy finished 11th, Owen Toller, Katayo Hendershot, and Andrew Dietrich. The guys are definitely happy and are excited to be heading to regionals on Saturday.
A lot of the work was just continuing to keep the work up. There's a lot of people that get to the postseason and they start slowing down because they want to feel the best. And but when you're trying to think 3 weeks ahead to the state meet, it's important to keep up the hard work.
We've had a streak for I think about 10 years now since I started coaching that we've advanced to regional every year. And we had a conversation a while ago with the team when I first took over, and about establishing that as just kind of an expectation at Gahanna.
Moving away from sports, our own Angel Crispin joins us to give us a history lesson and to tell us something scary.
You're right. Good morning, Angel. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty snazzy. How about you?
We're doing good. What do you have for us today?
Well, Friendship Park is a great place to gather with people. But did you know it used to be a country club before it was even a park? Well, there's something special about the country club, and today it makes a huge historical impact on our town. Our Ray Tadako took a look into the Big Walnut Country Club and its significance. Here's Ray.
95 years ago, there stood the Big Walnut Country Club, where people would gather for athletics, activities, music events, and social engagements. Yet this was one of the first black country clubs in America, and it created an opportunity for people during the times of injustice and segregation.
You know, really prestigious to come and be here. And then you felt safe. It was a good place for young people. The idea that young people could be exposed to sports that they couldn't afford or weren't welcome. During that time, so many African Americans couldn't do that. So this was an important part of history. I'm proud of my grandfather and all the other founders.
With the 8 founders, including Nimrod Booker Allen, Dr. William Woodland, and Dr. Elijah Calloway, the organization of the Big Walnut Country Club wouldn't have been successful. Although, at the peak of the civil rights movement, everything changed.
Big Walnut Country Club was founded at a time when African Americans were experiencing a renaissance in art and in culture. It represented the growing political and economic self-determination of Black America during the Roaring '20s.
The founding members had passed away, and so you don't know what the circumstances were for the new members or the new officers. They sold it in '66.
The country club slowly vanished and was hidden from Gahanna's history, but recognizing the achievements made from the country club never stopped, and that's when groups from Central Ohio came together to create Gahanna's first historical marker, and that was unveiled this fall.
This marker is the first step. Today we celebrate the club. We celebrate what it stood for. We celebrate who it stood for.
I'm so glad to know the full history of the location and the place, how important it was to the Black community at a time in our country's history where Black members of our community were being discriminated.
We appreciate Gahanna for embracing diversity in your community.
Friendship Park is the oldest and most beloved park in the city. There are tens of thousands of people who come here every year, and they come here and they don't know what was here before. Well, what this marker does today is now they will.
The historical marker's significance is greater than being a sign of history, but instead it tells the story of Black Americans who prospered in Gahanna where they had a safe space. Friendship Park is more than a symbol of unity, but instead it remarks the beauty of the Big Walnut Country Club. This is Ray Tadako for Lincoln Live.
Thanks, Ray. Over the weekend, the GLHS Theater Department held its annual haunted house. The theme was the sewer, and the people got to walk around the walls of the Visit Queen in the basement, greeted by some spooky faces. ICS did a fantastic job with their scares. Not only was it a fun time, it was also a successful fundraiser. Thanks to our theater department for hosting such a fun and frightening night. Well, that's all the information that I have today. Back to Dill and Jill at the news desk.
Thanks, Angel.
You know, Jill, as an athlete, there's so much that has happened this fall sports season.
You're right. With 4 OCC championships, rivalry wins, and even some things that just aren't quite sports related.
You're right, and actually, our Lincoln Sports Zone staff decided to come up with a list of the top 5 moments during the fall sports season.
Our Ray Tadako has the top 5.
Hi, everybody. 8 fall sports, 4 OCC championships. The Lincoln Sports Zone has covered them all, and we have a lot of great plays to choose from. So, what are the top 5 sports moments for Gahanna Lincoln so far? Here we go. We start with number 5, and the most recognizable person in Gahanna. Number 5 is the full-time return of Gahanna Bill. The Lions superfan have been away from Lions sports during COVID and slowly returned to some games last year. But this year, Gahanna Bill is once again a fixture at Lincoln Sports. And that makes everyone so happy that Bill earns a spot on our list. Now, let's move to number 4, one day, one meet, and proving to everybody that they are championship worthy despite losing state champion Alyssa Shope to graduation. Number 4 is the performance by the girls cross country team at Saturday's OCC meet. 3 runners made first team, and it's the Lions' 8th OCC title in the past 12 years. Amazing. Awesome. We've reached the top 3, and for number 3, we go to girls soccer. The Lions playing their biggest rival, New Albany, game tied 0-0. And that's when Mia Sammons changed that. Incredible shot, Mia. First win over New Albany in 5 years for girls soccer. Now it's number 2. And our football team waited 23 years for this one. They hadn't beaten Pickerington Central since 1999. Gahanna up 22-20 in the fourth quarter. Pick Central going for 2 to tie the game. But Dylan Scott and Jaden Yates chased down QB Braden Mantooth and stopped him short of the goal line. Lions win 22-20. And now to number 1. The Sports Zone staff had long discussions about this one. And here's what we picked. For over 90 years, Gahanna Stadium was home to Lions sports. But this year, the lights were turned out for the final time at a series of goodbyes for boys soccer, girls soccer, and football. The lights going out for the final time is our number 1 sports moment of the fall sports season.
Thanks, Ray.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today.
Take care, Lincoln.
Bye.